Hello everyone, CB3 here with another live update. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd, and this is the November monthly market update. What a month it was. S&P up 5.75%, Dow up 7.5%, NASDAQ up 6.25%. Really strong performance. December today opened really strong. I think we're in for a really good finish to the year. I want to tell you about it. Stick right here. CB3 Live update begins now. November is known as the strongest performing month during the calendar year. It's been that way since 1950, not every year, but most years. December is second, but November is the strongest month, and November 2024 was a remarkable month for the stock market and the broader economy. The S&P 500 rose 5.75%, the best monthly performance of the year. The Dow surged 7.5%, also achieving its strongest month of 2024. The NASDAQ increased by 6.25%, recording its best month since May. So not the best month of the year, but still very, very strong. What are the factors contributing to this? Well, we finally finished the presidential election, right? Donald Trump won it, as we all know by now, pretty soundly. First time that a Republican has won the popular vote in 20 years. He has a pro-stock market stance. He has, by the time I'm recording this, already completely nominated his cabinet. The last time it took him months to do it, and even more months to get them approved. But this time, he's even threatening to have what are called recess appointments if Congress doesn't quickly act. So he really wants to hit the ground running. He knows that leadership in Congress could change 2 years from now. So I believe he is determined to do as much as he can within these first 2 years. So his pro-stock stance obviously is part of it, but then just the traditional seasonal strength of stocks in November has really created optimism among investors. And the fact that the Fed, even if they're not immediately looking to lower rates, certainly is not going to be increasing them. So GDP continued its annual growth of 2.8%, slightly slower than the second quarter, but still robust economic activity. 2.8 certainly exceeds the Fed's 2.0 target for inflation. And that's great. If a lot of things happen with Trump's economy and things start moving, such as energy becoming a dominant export, you're going to see that GDP rise into the mid-3 handle, 3.5, 3.6 in my opinion. So the GDP growth marked the 10th consecutive quarter of solid growth, despite the fact that the Federal Reserve had tight monetary policy for most of this time. Where we're seeing some really positive signs is the manufacturing sector. I know that there's some mixed signals here, but the PMI registered a 48.4 growth in November. Still slightly below the 50% level where we want to see it, but the contraction has slowed down from earlier in the year, and the new orders index was positive. The labor market, which we always talk about on the show, you guys watch CB3 Live, I hope, only had 10,000 jobs, and this data came out just before the election and may have influenced some voters, I don't know. But it also could have been affected by the fact that we had so many hurricanes in the southern part of the country this year. So despite this, the 3-month average for job gains is 104,000. Donald Trump, and he's been public about this, wants to see that at 250,000 a month. I hope it does. It would be great for America. When you look at inflation, the trend there continues to be favorable. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, which is also known as the PCE, has fallen year over year to 2.1 in September, just above the Fed's 2.0 target. That's a great thing. Core inflation, which excludes food and energy, was at 2.7. That's always going to be higher because food and energy are so mercuric in nature. Consumer spending and the holiday outlook here, I still see it as strong. Quarter 3 saw consumer spending growth at 3.7% at an annual pace, and that is definitely strong. The National Retail Federation's projecting holiday spending is going to increase between 2.5 and 3.5%. That already started last week with Black Friday, 10.1% higher than last year's Black Friday, and the total weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday spending, about 4.5% higher than 2023. So what are the risks? We have to look at that. So the U.S. economy definitely showing strength, global economic forecast indicating uncertainty, largely because we still have a war situation in Israel. I realize that Hezbollah has decided to have a ceasefire with Israel, although it doesn't look like that's going to hold. But certainly Hamas and Israel are still at war, and definitely Russia and Ukraine are still at war. So I believe that a deal has been struck on that behind the scenes. I think Trump and Putin have already worked this out, and you're going to see that unfold at the end of January, but I could be wrong about that. In general, though, the global economic outlook for the rest of the world is not as strong as it is for the U.S. for this one simple reason. Donald Trump wants the U.S. dollar to be supreme in his term. This is no clearer or more evident than when you hear Donald Trump saying, if any of the BRIC nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, or any other alliances on the planet want to try to supplant, i.e. take the place of the U.S. dollar, he will tariff them into oblivion. And I believe that he'll do it. You've already seen Justin Trudeau fly down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Donald Trump. You notice Trump didn't fly to Canada, and Trump hasn't flown to Mexico City. People are going to be coming to us because we are the big dog. Whether you're a former friend or a former foe, I think Trump's opening it up and saying every relationship under me is going to get new scrutiny. Whether you're a border country, Canada and Mexico, whether you've been a traditional foe or whether you have been a traditional friend like NATO, Trump's saying, bring me what you have. This is our agenda as Americans. Can you fit into that? And he is in a position to do that based on the mandate from his election. And that's where we are right now, folks. Next Thursday night, that's a week from this coming Thursday night, Thursday, December 12th, will be the final CB3 Live of the year. We'll have more data wrapping up the year. We'll have more data looking forward into 2025. And then we have a very special January show live on stage. And if you're in Chicago, we'd love to have you join us. We'll tell you more about that on the show next Thursday night. Just know that right now I'm seeing a strong finish into the year. We have all three indices at lifetime highs just last Friday and making more strides again today. I think it's a positive time. I hope you guys are getting that vibe from the way I'm talking, and I hope you're looking in your accounts if you're a client and you see the same thing showing up there. If you have questions, CB3 at CB3.com. You know how to call our office. Watch for our daily tweets on X, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and we will see you on next Thursday night show. CB3 Live Update will be back after next week's CB3 Live show. We will see you then. Have a great Christmas season.